So we're like a week out from the NBA playoffs now, and things are starting to take shape, and we're starting to see which teams are going to play each other and which teams are potentially ducking the other and whatnot. And the biggest point of conversation, I think, have been the Suns, who have still not lost with Kevin Durant. They're sitting at 7-0, and I want to talk about them specifically. What do you guys think their playoff ceiling is at this point?
They could win it all. They could win it all,
bro. Kevin Durant's first game back, he shot terribly from the field, which is not Kevin Durant when he first comes back for some reason. And the team, I forget who they played against, but the Suns were just still moving as a whole. And because of just Kevin Durant's placement on the court and the insane threat, the fear that he strikes in people's veins, that just opens up the game for guys like DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah.
The role players stepped up. Cameron Payne, of course, was doing his thing. They have Torrey Craig and Josh Okogie, who's very good on the defensive end. And of course, since I think All-Star break, Devin Booker has been on an absolute tear. And
Facts.
For sure.
Having that be your second best player on your team was crazy as hell. So
yeah,
the Suns
I
are
asked
insane.
what their ceiling is. But that was the wrong way to phrase it. We all know their ceiling is the finals. That was obvious. More so, do you guys think that ceiling is going to happen now? Have you seen enough in the 7 games that you think this best case scenario is what you're going to get? There's always the worry about they don't have enough time to gel. Maybe things won't go as great right away, and next year's going to be crazy. But do you think they're crazy now? They're going to win the finals type shit?
Yeah, I don't think in terms of having time to gel, I don't think that's a question anymore. I think I wouldn't use that as an excuse if they lost. Right.
Really? Okay.
The way that I'm looking at the Suns right now, it's purely about, are you going to execute and win games or not? That is, I think that they are obviously not at their peak, but they are at a base level already to where I can look at them and say, you guys are good enough to win the finals right now. And I saw it in the Dallas game that they had on that Sunday afternoon. And even in Kevin Durant's return that Mo was talking about against the Timberwolves, their poise down the stretch of games is absolutely insane. And the fact that you
can imagine
the fact that you can have KD as and legitimately use him as a decoy in some spaces, and have Devin Booker, Chris Paul in that Timberwolves game that Mo was talking about. Chris Paul looked great. His mid-range jumper, it was falling. He's orchestrating everything. I think it seems very simple, but for me, when I look at the Suns, it's just a matter of, are you going to make shots or not? That's all I see from them.
That, and also what are the role players going to give you, and also what type of DeAndre Ayton are you going to get? Is he going to be engaged like he has been over or in that game specifically against the Timberwolves, or are you going to be fighting for scraps, and is the defense going to collapse on KD and Devin Booker at all costs and force the other dudes to try to make plays or whatnot? So
yeah,
those type of things for me.
See, well, I think I brought this up and I decided this was going to be our intro topic because I'm of the opinion that this team is probably going to walk into the finals. I think that, yeah, I mean, so, okay, there's another team that I think has a realistic chance now that we'll talk about later. Mm-hmm. You can probably assume what that team is. But aside from them, I think this team is by far going to be the best team in the Western Conference playoffs. I know Kenny posted a video last week. Mm-hmm. It's titled, "Are We Overthinking This?" And it was genuinely about, we're talking about the West being so wide open and all these teams can win. Golden State, watch out for them if they're healthy, all this stuff. But we're overthinking this because the Suns added Kevin Durant. They were in the finals 2 years ago, one seed last year, and they added Kevin Durant. And I'm of the same opinion that we 100% overthinking this. They are going to walk into the finals, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment in terms of how we're talking about the West, because I think that the West, for as wide open as it is, I don't think it's that wide open. I think it's a lot of mid. Right, it's a lot of mid. It's a lot of teams that are going to end up 42-42, 43-39, and it's nobody's great outside of the top. Even the top seeds. Is anybody here confident that Memphis is a legitimate 2 seed and is a powerhouse? Is anybody here confident that the Sacramento Kings, who are going to be in the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, the 3 seed, are a powerhouse? There's 2 legitimate teams in terms of title contenders in the West. So it's the Suns, the team we're going to talk about later, and a whole lot of mid. And it makes for interesting playoff rounds because you don't know who's going to win. That's where the intrigue comes from. But once we're talking about championships, I don't think there's a lot to look at in the West. I think a lot of that comes out East.
Yeah. one thing,
Man,
Mo, tell me what you think about this, because I know Donovan said he's of the opinion that things for them haven't, like, the gelling isn't an excuse, that they've looked completely fine, you would think. I kind of feel like offensively, we've seen a little bit of that they need time to gel thing. Like you said, Kevin Durant was abysmal in his first game back from injury, for his standards at least. And this last game they won, he had 18 points, wasn't a great Kevin Durant game. I feel like we're seeing that little bit of inconsistency on offense for the team. It was a little stagnant at times, as you'd expect. But what makes me think that they're still going to be a title team, but despite that, is their defense is ridiculous when Kevin Durant's out there. In lineups with KD, they have a 104 defensive rating, which is 98th percentile. Wow, those lineups are plus 15 overall. Mo, what do you think about their defensive side? Because everybody talks about the offense. We have these 3 great mid-range shooters. What about the defense?
Everyone talks about their offense, and their offense has been elite, especially CP3. Over the last 15 games. Side note, been averaging 15 points, shooting 47% from the field, 9
you beat
assists,
the wash allegations,
one turnover. It's insane. But a lot, just how good they are offensively. Specifically Kevin Durant, I feel like over the last few seasons, his defense has been completely overshadowed because of what he does on the other side of the ball. But him as a help side defender is it's an insane weapon to have in your back pocket that nobody sees coming. Usually all the top offensive scorers in the NBA, Luka Doncic, when they go ahead and drop 30, 35, they're dead on the other side of the court. But Kevin Durant in this situation to where he doesn't have to go ahead and exhaust all of his powers on the offensive end and still being an insane weapon, like a tomahawk coming out of nowhere on a consistent basis. You have to go through Ayton and KD. Oh my goodness, bro. Coming out of nowhere.
That's exactly that. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's Ayton and KD together. Yeah. Remember, early in Ayton's career, people were talking about him he's a negative defender as his biggest weakness. Past couple years, though, he's been legit a very good positional defender, what you want from pick and roll guys, a little bit mobile, but can still defend the rim. You already have that. They were already an elite defense last year. And when they traded in Bridges, who is one of the best perimeter defenders in the NBA, people kind of thought their wing depth is going down. Is that going to make their defense worse? But no, it hasn't. It has not mattered at all because that weak side rim protection is so much more valuable. I wouldn't necessarily say so much more valuable because what Bridges does is incredible. But whatever you lose from Bridges, you make up with what you get from KD on that end. You know what I mean? Even though it's different.
Substantially. Yeah, that extra now. Mikal Bridges is putting up KD type stats, but let's be real, those stats aren't hitting as hard as Kevin Durant's stats, if we're being completely honest with you. Yeah. And then on top of that, just the extra help that KD, the threat. No one's guarding Mikal Bridges how they guard Kevin Durant. No one is. Mikal Bridges don't put that type of fear in nobody's heart whatsoever. So just having that his I don't want to say gravity, because I feel like that term has been used OD lately.
Ran into the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ran into the ground. But people just like to stick on KD type shit. And because of that, it just opens up so much for them. And back to the defensive end. It all started back when he was in Golden State. That's when he got really good at defense because he didn't have to do an insane carry job on the other end of the court. And so now he's found himself in a not similar role, but similar situation to where he has a squad now, and this squad has already established and have had a fully fleshed out system on the offensive and also defensive end of the court, and all he can be is a plus on that end. That's literally.
To be fair, he was doing that all year in Brooklyn too. Early in the season before he got hurt, people were talking about him in MVP conversations because he was legit elite on defense.
Definitely, without a doubt, he was elite. He was elite. He was elite on defense, and because of that, on top of the insane season that the Brooklyn Nets were having at the time, he was in MVP conversations for a quick second.
For sure. Yeah, Donovan, I want to go back to one thing you said earlier.
Yeah.
You when I said I think they're probably gonna make the finals, you were there's a whole lot of fucking mid, and there's 2 good contenders there. For the rest of this episode, we're gonna talk about the Western Conference. Okay. And specifically the teams at the top and how the seeding matchups are playing out. I want to know first, which team are you referring to as the other contender in the West?
I'm talking about Denver.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah, who I was talking about. Well, let's talk about Denver first.
Yeah. So, okay, obviously Denver has a lot going for it. You have Jokic, MVP candidate, right? Top 3 player in the world, however you want to slice it. You have him. Jamal Murray's back. everything that we've been looking at Denver for the past couple of years, it's Jokic, and as great as he is, with the squad now. And they are the number one seed. The offense is clicking. It will not recently, right? And as we saw the last night against the Houston Rockets, they put up a stinker. But
they got Sengun.
Tell me what happened in that game. What happened?
They got Sengun. That's what happened.
Listen, it's kind of just been an issue that they had in that game that they've had over like the last 10 games where defensively, like, things have been fine, but they just can't buy a bucket. Like over the last 10 games, they are in the bottom third in the league in offensive rating. Meanwhile, the defense is still upper half of the league. They're kind of figuring things out on that end. It's weird they haven't been able to find just like the groove that they were hitting at before.
Yeah. To be fair, Jokic did miss 3 of those 10 games, so that doesn't help.
Yeah.
But yeah, you alluded to it. They are trending downward right now in a way. Like, you know, people talk about I think it's like an old Bill Simmons trope where like, did they peak too early in the season type shit. I think the Nuggets might have peaked too early in the season because since they beat the Raptors 15 games ago, they're 6-8 over the last 14 games, and they just can't stop losing. And after that loss against the Rockets, Mike Malone came out. Mike Malone is the king of throwing players under the bus. If you haven't noticed.
Oh my God, I hate that so much about him. Like, I think he's a good coach, but that's by far his worst trait. That's the worst trait any coach could have.
I think it's a give and take. Sometimes you could say it works. It's accountability, and players need to hear that shit because NBA players can be divas at times and all up in their own ass, and it could be useful to hear that. I think Greg Popovich is the same way, but not to the media, to the players' faces.
Yeah, there's a difference.
Sure. Yeah. When Mike Malone did to Thomas Bryant a few days ago, it was kind of iffy. Yeah.
I got secondhand embarrassment for Thomas Bryant, bro.
But I'm saying this to say, after the Rockets lost yesterday, he came out and he said, "This team is soft. That's the only way I can describe it. And if they keep playing like this, we're gonna lose in the first round." And then he said, "I said that to their faces in the locker room, and I challenged every player in there to check me on that, and nobody said anything."
Yeah, he called them buns. He told the media this whole locker room is buns.
Fact. First off, he was dropping bars. Why is he dissing them like that? That was hard. This is a battle rap.
Oh my goodness, that was hard as hell. He said he stand on business.
Yeah, he said I came to their face, man to man, check them. They didn't say shit.
Yeah, street cred plus 10. Oh my goodness.
But the moral of the story is, if he is saying that, he feels that way. It makes sense why everybody else feels that way, right? And I feel like people are diminishing their faith in the Nuggets as contenders. So, are y'all feeling that you're feeling less and less faith in them, or do you think they'll be fine? Or
no, I think they'll be fine. Like I said earlier, I think that the West is filled with a bunch of mid, and so I actually think that first round series is going to be a really good chance for them kind of to just ramp back up. Also, when you've been the number one seed for a majority of the season, it's not a great excuse, but I can understand you getting bored with 3-4 games left. And it's like, listen, like they have the Grizzlies games. The Grizzlies are 2 games back. They're not dropping a 2-game lead over the last 3 games this season. And it's like it's a Tuesday night. The Houston Rockets are coming in. I understand. I get it. I don't think that it's okay, but I get it. Let them play a first round series against, I guess right now it would be the Pelicans. They'll win that series in 5. They'll get back on track, and then they'll be in the right headspace when they have to play some real teams. Like that's the type of time that we're on. Now, if you want to say Denver shouldn't be thinking like that at all, because who are they? They haven't done anything. 100%. I'm with that, but I can just understand why they've been slumping from a mental aspect, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like there's like been so much more pressure on the Denver Nuggets because obviously the whole Nikola Jokic MVP thing, and like people don't like the thought of giving someone an MVP who hasn't done quote unquote anything in the postseason, whatever. But out of all these teams in the Western Conference, I noticed the Nuggets have a lot more. It seems like they have a lot more pressure on their backs, and I want to know what you guys think about that. For sure.
I think they have the most pressure of any team in the league right now. I heard somebody say that earlier today. Another media person. I forgot who it was.
I mean, RJ.
RJ Barrett out here.
No,
RJ Barrett's potted.
No.
Listen, every NBA player has a podcast these days.
Facts.
So it's like, listen, NBA players, if you guys are watching, come on the Deep 3. Let's talk about it in the playoffs.
Richard Jefferson.
Let's do something.
Richard Jefferson. Yeah. He said that. I saw TikTok about it. He went on JJ Redick's pod. I 100,000% agree. it's not even just the Nuggets. It's the Nuggets by proxy because Nikola Jokic has the most pressure on him of any player in the league, which is weird because that's true, but also like doesn't matter because he's the most offline player ever that like doesn't even hear this shit. So he's gonna get slandered to high hell if they lose in the first round or lose in the second round.
Yeah,
but it'll be like irrelevant because he has no place in culture. So it's gonna be strange.
I agree.
Yeah,
though.
you're right.
I agree though. It makes sense. You have this 2-time MVP. Everybody feels that like the praise has been overblown for him for years now, and they haven't gotten back to a conference finals. So let's see what they got, right? Because everybody's been saying, you guys, they lost to the Warriors, they lost to the Suns. Because look at Jokic's team. He had no help. He 100% has help now.
He's all the help.
He has help. You better do something.
Yeah,
they've been consistently one of the more healthier teams in the entire league. They haven't they haven't gone through hella injuries like most teams out there in the Western Conference, like the Sacramento, or not the Sacramento Kings. They're actually the second or the most healthiest team in the NBA, but like the Los Angeles Clippers or the Lakers or the fucking Warriors and all
most
those
teams.
So,
yeah, every team goes through injuries. And the only way you can be a high seed is if you get lucky with injuries because most people aren't lucky, right? Like it's kind of is what it is.
So
and
all the stars aligned for the Nuggets. So I guess you're right when it comes to the pressure behind.
They definitely aligned. They aligned so well, like Donovan said. They kind of clearly are not having the same effort because they're coasting on the 1 seed. And Donovan asked, you could also he didn't ask. He said you could also say that why do they feel like they have that's some audacity, right, to slow down as if you want something.
Yeah,
I'm not as concerned about that in terms of like, do they deserve to not try? I don't really give a fuck. But I think the side effect of that could be, when we see teams like the fucking Cavs do that when they had LeBron, they can coast and turn it on because they have LeBron and they like have that switch they can flip, as people call it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the Nuggets have that. Like, you can't necessarily assume you're going to be able to just flip the switch immediately when you've been for 2 weeks not trying. Like, that type of mental space to be in can bite you in the ass so hard. I guess it's not even necessarily a moral thing. It's just it's really hard to try hard when you weren't before.
Yeah. No, I get that. Question, right? And we're gonna talk a little bit more about the West. Let's say that the Lakers end up in the 8th seed, and they end up playing the Nuggets in the first round. Are y'all taking the Lakers in a series?
At this point, you have to. Given what you've seen from both teams lately, it's not even a recency bias thing. It's this is the current state of the teams. So I'm glad you said this. Let's transition because the third team I want to talk about is the Los Angeles Lakers. We talk about them often. They're the most popular team in the league, and they're LeBron James' team. We have to talk about them. And I'm a Lakers fan. And beginning of the season, beginning of the season, we were saying, "Oh fuck, they suck unless they trade Russ." They didn't trade Russ; they were terrible. They traded Russ. Okay, we'll see. Listen, we've seen. I know what this team is. This team is a contender again. I think it's time we say that they can beat the Nuggets. They can beat the Grizzlies. They can beat the Kings. They can beat anybody you put in front of them in a 7-game series.
The
Suns, I don't know.
The Suns?
The Suns,
except for the Suns.
Yeah, but that's a conversation. But it's not a walkover. You at least have to think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'd pick the Suns. If they played, I'd pick the Suns in 6 or 7, probably 6. But you would have to think about it. And I think it's time to put the Lakers in the conversation with the Nuggets and the Suns as a top 3 team, which is weird as fuck because they're the 7th seed right now. Maybe they have a good chance of getting to 4 or 5 if things break right over the next 3 games. But I think they're the 3rd best team in the conference. What do you think?
Dude, honestly, I'm thinking the same thing. But if we all watched, or maybe not you, Isaac, but Donovan, did you see what happened last night when they played at Utah?
I did.
Just
see
how chillax and relaxed they were. That was just only one game, but regardless of that one game, and Kelly Olynyk having humongous balls and pulling like he's Steph a few times towards the end of that game, the Lakers are genuinely terrifying because of all the flowing pieces that they have. They've unlocked Austin Reeves, and he's a free throw merchant now. Like, the Lakers have the most favorable whistle in the entire NBA. So
he's good at it for real.
Yeah, he's good at it for real. Jared Vanderbilt and AD, that defensive duo was insane. And LeBron, he looks so good right now. Like, the way he's moving, I haven't seen him move. Me personally, that's what I noticed at least. I haven't seen him move like that since last year. So,
see, the thing is, LeBron, he's looked good. He's getting better. Last night was his best game since he came back from injury. He still hasn't looked like quite as he did earlier in the year when he was really clicking, averaging 30. But he's been good enough. And AD has been a monster again. He had 3 straight games where he had over 35 points. He dropped 40. Was it last night or night before that? He dropped 40. Like, AD has been like top 5 to 7 player AD you want.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, having Jared Vanderbilt, having Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, like they're a real team with shooting and all the things we said when they made the trades that they could go through and could make them a contender in best case scenario.
It's
I
clicking.
think this has basically been the best case scenario, right?
Absolutely. You can't really ask for anything better. Dennis Schroeder
Besides
doing
D'Lo's
anything off the
health.
bench
That's
still.
it.
Oh yeah, that's true. But Dennis Schroeder, regardless of the fact, is gonna hold it down, and you're not gonna like be dead if you don't have D'Lo in the starting lineup. And then Rui Hachimura's solid and consistent off the bench as well. I don't hear Donovan's sake though on this.
Nah, I mean, listen, I really, really do hate the Lakers. I really do.
I know you do,
but they're fantastic.
They're nice as
They're
fuck.
fantastic.
You gotta admit it.
No, they're nice. They're nice,
Yeah.
and they 100% have a chance. I think the only thing, and it's kind of the only thing, well, not the only thing, but it's one of the main reasons why I think I would still pick against the Suns to win the conference, is I just don't trust that LeBron and AD are going to be able to stay healthy for 2.5 months. That's the
fair.
only that's the only thing. But if we're just talking about everybody's
Hold
health,
on.
what's up?
Do you trust that Chris Paul and Kevin Durant are gonna stay healthy?
No,
for 2.5
I don't.
months?
I don't, and that's what I'm
true.
saying. That's why I said it's one of the main reasons why I don't think that I would pick the Suns to get out of the
Oh,
conference.
okay. So you picked neither. Okay.
Yeah, I still have faith in Denver to make the finals. Just because Chris Paul, like clockwork, every single year something happens to him. Kevin Durant hasn't been able to stay healthy. LeBron, even though that he's looked good, he still looks like he's coming off of a foot injury, right? Like he's the only time that LeBron is ever going to be 100% in any given season moving forward now is game 1. That's it. After that, after that, he's an old man who needs immense ice packs after every single quarter. So like there's going to be injury concerns like that. However, defensively, they look good. If the 3 ball is dropping for LeBron, which it was last night, they have the chance to run this table and to get to the conference finals potentially, and which would mean beating Phoenix in the process. But God,
Or Denver,
they
one of them.
they look good. They look
Yeah.
good, man.
When LeBron, Reeves, and AD are playing, they have a 121 offensive rating and a 108 defensive rating.
God,
For those
man,
back home who aren't math inclined, that is a plus 13 point differential, making them a 99th percentile lineup in the NBA.
Yeah,
You're gonna make me lose my language over the Lakers.
Top
man.
1% of the league.
I can't
man.
stand it.
I feel like every time we do talk about the Lakers though, and we're like expecting some huge, like we're just projecting what they should be doing in the playoffs and whatnot. Like I just remember so many times like something random effed up happens to them. Like last time we talked about the Lakers, it was fucking LeBron, and then he popped something in his foot, and then it seemed like the season was dead in the water. So it's like always something. So Donovan's right about that. I think like currently, if I was to have all my trust in one team, I still would select the Denver Nuggets because they've like shown that consistency, especially on the health side of things. But like, at the end of the day, if you put like a gun to my head, I'm gonna say the Phoenix Suns, just because that lineup is just too OD and powerful, and the Nuggets are not built to protect or defend that lineup whatsoever.
No one is.
Suns-
That's the thing. No, nobody in the NBA is built for that.
I mean, if there's a team that's worse, I almost think there's no team worse equipped to defend the Suns. Not
Kings.
almost, because there's definitely hella other teams as well, but they're definitely like one of the 5 worst teams equipped with the Suns.
Yeah. I see, because they have a slow-footed center, right? Like it's hard to.
Yeah, slow-footed center. Michael Porter Jr. has been better at like positioning himself, but he's still
got
not
tunnel
like moving
vision.
the lead.
Nuggets fans
He
say
has-
that. I don't believe it.
He has Michael
hasn't
Porter
been-
Jr. is C shot, take shot. Like that is what he has. He has that in him. It's
Yeah,
so
but
funny.
on defense, he's been using his big body just a little bit more, and he's not as like a walk in the park, but still like Kevin Durant is gonna treat him like he's a prance in the car. Like, are you kidding me? Like, no wait, nothing's fucking stopping him, bro.
What's it called?
So-
One thing you mentioned, I'm going to go back to Mo. You talked about how it's always something with the Lakers. And a few weeks ago, LeBron got hurt. And we were like, oh, the season's fucked. And you mentioned that as like, it's something that we always have to worry about with him happening again. I take that as the inverse. We wrote them off a month ago. And without the greatest player ever, they kept their season afloat and didn't just like be 500 and like maintain themselves. They got better and moved up the standings. So like that is very inspiring to me in terms of like what this team can be, because every contender can be good without their star player because they have good infrastructure around them. And that hasn't been the case for Lakers. That's why the past couple years have been trash, because when AD gets hurt, they don't have any depth. But we see that now. That's not the case. They can win without one of those guys.
I will say though, their schedule down the stretch has been very favorable. So I think
you got to play the games in front of you.
No, I understand. I'm saying though, when that transfers to like if LeBron gets hurt and you're in the middle of a series against the Nuggets or against the Suns, you know what I'm saying? Like that's much different than having to play Chicago, or having to play Utah on a random night. Like that's a problem.
Yeah. I'm not trying to say they beat the Nuggets. They lost LeBron. It's just that shows you they have quality players around LeBron because they can win on any given NBA night. And so obviously you still need your guys to win the playoffs, but it shows you that those guys are quality enough to, play around those stars and be good enough to win against the best teams.
That's fair. I think overall I agree with you. I think that they have to be the third best in the conference, and they have to be the third best, favorite or trusted, whatever team. It just has to be them.
Yeah. And it feels so disrespectful because like the Grizzlies and Kings just been rattling off being great all year, and like nobody takes them seriously as contenders. Which you understand why they don't have top flight talent in terms of like star power. Obviously, there's Ja Morant, but the Kings have two like B+, maybe A- guys, not like a true star. But like, do we think they? I mean, they can win a first round series
if they played a team like the Golden State Warriors, like it might be raps for the Warriors, and I'm not sure how much I trust them. Andrew Wiggins is back and all that, but like I'm not sure if Andrew Wiggins can be the automatic Band-Aid that they're expecting to fix all those issues.
Let's talk about them. They're probably going to play the Suns in the first round in the 4-5 series.
The Kings,
so let's say Andrew Wiggins is back,
or the Warriors.
Let's say Andrew Wiggins is back for the Warriors.
Oh.
They're not going to be as good as they were last year playoffs. They need time to gel. They still can't win away games. We can't give them too much benefit of the doubt, but you can give them a little bit of benefit of the doubt, right? They're still the Warriors at the end of the day.
Yeah, they're still the Warriors at the end of the day.
What's that series look like to you?
I don't know. Like, you have to give them the respect. They have some like the greatest shooters of all time, and Draymond Green has forever been a monster on the defensive end of the court. But it's so hard if they go against a team like the Kings, correct?
No.
Or they're gonna play the Suns first.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
If they go against a team like the Suns, they're kind of actually like well equipped to go ahead and defend the Suns. So it could be an actual upset that we might witness. But at the same time, that would be such a wild turn.
Don't let that happen. That would be such a wild turn.
But if there's a team that can do it, it's definitely the Warriors. I'm not trusting the Nuggets.
If that happens, my Steph better agenda will never die. You will never hear the end of it from me.
Listen,
if there's a team that can do it, it's not. They match up so well.
So right now the Warriors are the fifth seed, right? So they would have 3 home games. That's at least 3 wins, because somehow they just don't lose at home, right? They were down. They were down to the Thunder last night. Went on this crazy run, right? End up winning the game by a very comfortable margin. They just find ways to win at home. So that just doesn't matter.
When you say that they don't win it, they don't lose at home, but you can say that's 4 road games. They don't win on the road. So
no, I know, but if Andrew Wiggins is there, I think you may be able to get one. And that's the dangerous part with the Warriors, is that they are so dominant at home, and that they don't have to go back and forth on the road. They don't have to go and get 2 on the road. They can split the first 2, or they can just find one. That's all you need. And if you have Steph Curry, then you have a chance in road games.
Yeah. But I mean, I would say Kevin Durant has never lost in a Suns uniform. So if you have Kevin Durant, you could win one in Golden State.
Yeah, that is true. But
it's going to be a crazy series.
Yeah, we haven't seen Wiggins.
I think I would take the Suns. I think I would take the Suns right now.
Yeah.
But I would be shocked if it went anything less than 6 games.
Absolutely. Yeah. I 10,000% agree. We haven't seen Wiggins and Gary Payton Jr. suit up on the court, and we haven't seen just all of them work in unity, because Wiggins been out majority of the second half of the season. And so just thinking about it from a logistical standpoint and seeing every single matchup, Kevon Looney, he's a beast. I think he's one of the league leaders in offensive rebounds. And seeing how he matches up against DeAndre Ayton, it's not an easy matchup whatsoever. He's so scrappy. And
I'm taking Loon. I'm taking Loon. On the offensive glass. I'm taking Kevon Looney.
Yeah, man.
That's such a terminally online NBA fan take. Looney over
I know.
DeAndre
That's so
Ayton.
nasty.
I'm taking just on the offensive glass. Obviously, Ayton is the better player. Loon's a dog. Loon's a monster on the offensive
Yeah, I
glass.
respect Looney, yeah.
You're in the trenches when it comes to NBA fandom, bro. But I definitely agree with you. I'm definitely taking the Suns, but it will not surprise me at all if this was a major upset. If there was going to be an upset, it would be this one.
Listen, I have irrational faith in the Warriors. If you give me 3 games with Andrew Wiggins back and they look like the Warriors, I'm going to come on this podcast and be fucking crazy with my predictions. That's all I'm going to say. Don't let me see 2021 Andrew Wiggins out there looking great again. That's all I got.
2021 Wiggins with this Curry. Oh my goodness, bro. Yeah, it's going to be scary. These playoffs are going to be so good. Generational.
It's going to be great. Let's keep talking about the West playoff outlook, because there's one team I want to talk about who are not currently in the West playoff outlook, who we all expected to be. It was the title of our episode last week, the Dallas Mavericks.
Who's we? All
right, whatever. Last week, we titled the episode about the Dallas Mavericks failing. And, we talked about this experiment with Luka and Kyrie hasn't worked for a myriad of reasons. It just keeps getting worse. Like, last week, we were talking about like it was rock bottom. Now there's reports from Shams Charania that they're thinking about shutting down Kyrie and Luka for the season.
How low can you go?
They're going to shut them down for the season? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous.
It's a failure. It's like we use the term, like we joke around with things being like generational. If they shut these guys down for the season, or if they miss the play-in, this is legitimately a generational failure. This is like to trade assets to go get Kyrie Irving, to have 2 all-stars on your team and not be able to be in the top 10 of the Western Conference is
crazy.
Absolutely
they just don't win
ridiculous.
Games ever. It's wild.
It's absolutely ridiculous. There's so much going on with the Mavs, so much bad going on. And speaking of the Mavs, and I saw this today, has nothing to do with basketball, just made me upset. I saw that Reggie Bullock bought himself an island in Belize. Guys, there's no way that anybody who is that bad at their job should be able to have enough money to buy an island. We need to fix something. Reggie Bullock should not be out here owning islands. It
sounds
really
like a
did bother me.
CBA problem, if you ask me.
We'll get to that.
We need to fix
That's
that.
funny. Yeah, so I mean, we don't got to get too far into the Mavs again. We talked about it in the last episode extensively about why they suck. But I want to talk about that because one day we got the report from Shams that they're going to potentially shut down Luka and Kyrie, which probably means if they lose tonight and they're like out of it, they're going to be like, why make them play the last 3 games? They're not making the play-in. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, the next day he reported they still intend to sign Kyrie Irving. Kyrie intends to test the free agent market, so he's not going to do an extension, but they're going to actively try to re-sign him. That's
within that
obvious,
same,
they have to.
They have to. So
within that same
to.
conversation, Mark Cuban went ahead, or another reporter asked him, okay, so what about like Christian Wood? And he was like, I'm not going to go ahead and go down the list of players on this roster. And that's just like so out of line. But like you guys are saying, yeah, they pretty much have to. What else do you expect for him to say? They're fucked if they don't have to.
They have to. You're right. That's the moral of the story. So they're stuck with this team. They're stuck with Kyrie and Luka. Do you see a world where it gets better next year? Because this year they're fucked. It's cooked. We don't even got to talk about it anymore.
It has to get better. It has to get better. There's no way. Oh, they've lost 3 in a row. They're 3-7 in the last 10 games. They have to be better than this. If you get rid of Christian Wood, if you find some shooters who can actually shoot the basketball.
Screw that. If you find some guys who can play defense and be taller than 6'4".
Listen. Please go to Summer League. Send your best scouts. Tell them don't come back until you find somebody who will run up and down the court, who just has major effort. Even if guys just try harder than what they are right now.
Antetokounmpo will make this team better.
He's getting a max contract. He's at least the mid level. It just has to be better.
You just has to be better. 2.5 M's just to headbutt people and clap when you're down by 30. Like what? That's what we doing now. Damn.
Headbutt people.
Yeah.
Well, he's ridiculous. He's crazy. But no, it has to get better. I think if the offensive side of the ball is already like if you have Luka and Kyrie, we've seen that the offense has been great. You have these two dynamic ball handlers that can play off of one another and can give you a really good foundation for how to build your offense, right? And if we're talking about like in a regular season context, that can win you a lot of games. We've already talked about their defensive struggles a lot. That's the one that's like outside of re-signing Kyrie, that's going to be the main thing that they have to address. But if they can, swap out Christian Wood for somebody who's, maybe not as talented offensively, I think that's okay because again, you have Luka, you have Kyrie, you have offense from them, and I promise you, Luka's not going to be upset if he has to take a lot of shots, considering that Kyrie is on the other side of him. So it's not like they're double teaming shots. It's not like he's forcing shots up,
Yeah. And if they fall to the bottom 10, like they might be trying to do, they'll keep their first round pick this year. So Christian Wood and a hopefully top 10 pick and a really good draft, that can get you a little something. Maybe if the Blazers decide to blow it up, do you give a top 10 pick for Jeremy Grant? It's a bit rich of a price, but Jeremy Grant would help a lot for this team.
That's high. That's high.
Yeah,
top 10 for Jeremy Grant's wild.
Wow, but I mean, what else are they going to do? Jeremy Grant would be perfect for this team.
I guess
Jeremy Grant would be perfect, but man, I don't know if I'd want to pay Jeremy Grant that type of bag, and you just funnel yourself into this another nasty wormhole, bro.
For sure. And I'm talking my ass. I don't know if Jeremy Grant's available, if it makes sense at all.
Yeah.
I just mean like if they fall out, if they get to that top 10 pick, they'll have a good asset to make a move, which is like kind of what they need to bank on, right?
Yeah.
Don't the Knicks own their pick?
Then it's top 10 protected. So if they fall out of the play-in range and they get some draft luck, then they can keep it.
But yeah, they have to bank on that because for some reason over decades, free agents don't want to go to Dallas, and they're apparently not like people are not lining up at the Mavericks facility to go and sign a contract. So they have to force people to come into the building. So yeah, that's 100% the game plan is to try and trade for a third piece and try to get this thing going.
I'm looking at the list of unrestricted free agents who could possibly help out with the Dallas Mavericks situation.
Is Dry out there?
And this is very bleak. I'm looking at names like Lonnie Walker, Joe Ingles, Hamidou Diallo, Kendrick Nunn, Mason Plumlee, Jakob Poeltl, but
these guys are going to suck for years.
So Jay Crowder, like Dylan Brooks,
Jakob Poeltl would be good.
Jakob Poeltl would be a great signing. Maybe that's.
Are they gonna have cap space once they sign Kyrie? I don't even know if they will.
I don't know. And Kelly Oubre, he's gonna ask for a bag. For some reason, he's averaging 20 points per game this season, and it's like there's no real
Kelly
situation for the Dallas Mavericks unless they pull strings and like a team looking to revamp their roster wants to go ahead and switch things up and throw a all-star caliber or fringe all-star caliber type player. Like what if the Dallas Mavericks went ahead and traded for like, you think what is Mikal Bridges worth? Is he worth a top 10 pick?
No, they don't have anywhere near enough for Bridges.
They would have to trade Kyrie for Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, no. You're thinking about this all wrong. They're not doing anything like that. What the reality is for them next year is the mid-level exception, giving it to somebody who isn't useless like they did for JaVale McGee this year. They're going to need veteran minimum guys, getting guys that can actually play defense, and basically exchanging these guys they have now that are small and can shoot for guys that are big and can play defense, right? Just readjusting the type of role players they have around their stars now since their whole team outlook changed since they have two small guards now. Well, not small guards, but two defensively lacking guards.
Yeah.
So it's really just the small stuff like that and that'll add up in totality to fit better.
But what type of... I feel like I'm not thinking about this wrong, though, because those type of guys are really not out there for real and available for real, at least this offseason.
I mean, like Jay Crowder, they can give him a little exception. Jay Crowder would help.
Going to turn around the Dallas Mavericks. Like, no.
Boss man 99.
No, Jay Crowder won't spin the needle, but you sign Jay Crowder as mid-level exception. You trade Christian Wood to sign trade for Jakob Poeltl, and then you ship out Tim Hardaway Jr. for a 3-and-D guard, whoever that may be, whoever's out there available. And, you just do a bunch of small stuff like that. And then suddenly you have 3 good perimeter defenders, a solid rim protector, Dwight Powell as a backup big, Kleba as a backup power forward. And it's just like, it's not any one additions to make a difference. It's a totality of a bunch of small additions.
Yeah, and all this is banking on all this matters only if you sign Kyrie Irving, and you don't.
Yep.
No one really wants to trust that, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
the biggest. That's my biggest thing. Like, if there's a star player that I trust the least in the NBA, it is by far Kyrie.
I mean, yeah, as it should be. Well
As
documented.
he should be. So just like that's why I'm just like I think they're cooked from the get go, bro. They're done.
Yeah. It's tough.
And now Mark
let's move on
Cuban
to
got a
something
laser beam on his head.
Yeah, man. The West is crazy right now. We're not talking about the East today because there's not that much to talk about. It's kind of like we're just waiting for the playoffs because we know the top 7. Like it's kind of in stone. So I want to move on to something a little bit different. A few days ago, the NBA and the Players Association agreed to a new CBA, which is a massive deal because for those who don't know, the CBA is basically the rule book that the NBA operates off of in agreement with the players that decides everything from top down. It decides what players make in like what their percentage of revenue is, what the rules for trading draft picks are, etc. And every year they have, not every year, I think it's every 7 years, they sit down and do negotiations for a whole year to try to redo this deal. And that just happened. So we have a lot to talk about with that.
Let's go.
Donovan, what was the first
let's
thing
get
that
into
stood out to you in this new CBA?
Wait, what'd you say?
What was the first thing that stood out to you about this new CBA?
It's clearly the new regulations for the awards. That was one of the biggest things that stuck.
Wow.
Tell me about that. What is
Wow, I can't talk. That was one of the biggest things that stuck out to me. Basically, now to qualify for like MVP, DPOY, all the major awards, you have to play at least 65 games in the season, which has been a very contentious point for this season because a lot of the star players have missed games. People are trying to push back on the load management wave that's been coming out. You want your star players to be playing as many games as possible. So now you have 17 games of leeway to miss. We've seen a couple people kind of push back on that. Draymond Green came out today and said that it's going to be basically a good idea until a whole bunch of bums end up on the All-NBA list. And while I understand the sentiment of you're not getting the top guys on the All-NBA list, top guys in the MVP, it's also, hey, we're getting people who actually played basketball this year, right? Like one of the best, and people say it a lot, and it means a lot in certain cases. I think that this is one of those cases, but one of the best availabilities is availability, and I think that there's something to that. And when we're talking about the best 15 players in the league, yeah, if you've only played 60 games a year, a la Anthony Davis for a couple seasons, or Kyrie for a couple years, you haven't been on the court, so why are you eligible for a lot of these awards?
I'm about to disagree so hard with you. You go first, Mo.
So I'm going to lob this to you. If this rule was implemented today, what does first team and second team All-NBA look like? Because it's finna be nasty.
No Damian Lillard, no John Morant, no Steph Curry, no James Harden, obviously no Anthony Davis or LeBron. So many names. But
it's going to be Shea.
Let me curb that first because I heard on Zach Lowe's podcast, he was talking with, I forgot, one of the other ESPN writers, I think it was Kevin Pelton. He was hearing something that it's going to be it's not cut and dry. 65 is a hard line. Mm-hmm. It's going to be
Thank God.
Under review. So if Damian Lillard got shut down for low management, it's not his fault. Those will be counted against him, stuff like that. He was hearing that it might be that. So if you're injured, that's allowed. But if you get suspended, that's not allowed. You know what I mean? Those will count against you for the 65. If that's the case, then things are different. Then that's okay, right? Because most players will be fine that we're talking about. But back to your point, Donovan, the whole availability is the best ability thing. And you're saying if it's not the best players, it's the people who played. That's a general thing we're seeing, right? People really hate on players who get injured now. Obviously, Anthony Davis is case in point, and I'm always the one defending him. But I'm not doing that because I'm an Anthony Davis lover, right? I just think it's so stupid.
You are.
Okay, whatever.
You do love AD.
I guess. But I think it's so stupid that people hold this against them as if it's their fault. They're just soft pussies. They just can't play. When the reality of the modern NBA is the game is faster. There's more possessions. There's more running. There's more space to run back and forth. Players get hurt more. That is a undeniable reality of the game now. You can look it up and see it.
All the movement.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a different game. Anthony Davis isn't a pussy. Game. If David Robinson played today, he might have got hurt a lot because he wasn't running up and down, defending the three-point line, running back. You know what I mean? So to know that
defending
and
the
then
3-point
still
line, like
do this,
guarding smaller guards and being asked to do all these crazy ass switches and like, bro, these nasty ass screens banging up your body, like it's unreal.
yeah, that's true. Players get hurt more. It's undeniable fact. So why are we punishing them for that when we know that's the case? Like, it seems ass backwards to me to not acknowledge that fact and go the other way and act like it's somebody's fault. Like, the load management thing is so overblown. That is so, like, small of a portion of the reality of why players miss games. I don't know if that's the Players Association pushing that because players are sick of guys who get hurt a lot getting recognition or some shit. Probably not. And if it's the NBA side wanting this, why? What do they have to gain from this?
Okay, so a couple things on that. One, if you do not play, right? So what's your line? What is your line for how many games that you can miss? Because clearly, like, if somebody only played 25 games out of an 82 game season, they're not going to be,
come on.
you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to be in contention. Everybody has a line for where you're eligible at. The NBA is setting their line here. And so whether you think 17 games is a weird number or it's like not a good percentage or anything like that, we can talk about that. Mm-hmm. I think, though, that to have a line that says you have to play this many games to be considered as an All-NBA talent, which they do for points per game, for all the season leaders, they already do that. So why can we do it for the points per game stuff, but we can't do it for All-NBA?
I'll tell you what. Like that. So you said everybody has their line, right? True. That's already ingrained in voters' mindsets. Like you said, if Anthony Davis plays 48 games, he's not going to make it. But if Anthony Davis plays 60, he might make it because you weigh it in totality with everything's a sliding scale. If his impact and talent is a 99, he would be a shoo-in if it was only that. But if his availability is a 50, you just kind of do some mental average and say, is it worth it? That is a thing already. So why, as the NBA, would you make this a thing that's like in the rule book and not allow voters to do that? All that does is just continue this harmful narrative that's anti-player and getting hurt, where we're seeing players get, okay, let me not say that because Twitter roasting doesn't really matter. But it's not effective. It's not helpful. Yeah, it's not helpful at all to make it a point of emphasis to bash players for getting hurt and pulled it against them. Or even like someone like Damian Lillard who got shut down because his team is tanking the rest of the year. Mm-hmm. Damian Lillard wouldn't make 65. He should be third team All-NBA. You know what I mean? I just don't see any helpfulness to setting a number when, like you said, people already have one in their heads as voters. So what's the helpfulness of putting one?
I think it's to make things a little bit more clear and a little bit more uniform. When we did our episode about our All-Star games, right? A whole bunch, we all had guys like in the starting lineups or reserves, and it's like, oh, this guy hasn't played that much, but I'm still going to give it to him, this and that. And all of us had different criterias. The NBA is saying, hey, there's tens of millions of dollars on the line, which each one of these things, like, people lose out on $30 million because they don't make a certain All-NBA team or they don't win MVP and things like that.
There you go. So should they lose that now for getting hurt? Should it be guaranteed because they got hurt that they don't get that? That's fucked to me.
It'd be like that sometimes, but
it shouldn't be. It doesn't have
to. if you, and so like what you were talking about earlier with Zach Lowe, what they were talking about, and like if there's like a plus minus, right? That I don't think that a hard line is correct. But I do think that, like, if you have the line to where, like, this is the range, then we're going to have a higher and we're going to have a lower. I think that's okay, and you can have a little bit of margin of error. But I do think that setting a line and saying, this is the area in which we are going to say you are eligible, I think that's correct. And so if we want to say it, set it at 65, I think that's okay. If we're going to say, oh, well, Dame, he was on track to play, right? He was healthy enough to play. The team shut him down. We can give him that, and then everything can happen. You know what I'm saying? So like,
if that's the case, then this is a non-conversation. That's fine, right?
Yeah.
If they do it as like they look at each game played and say it falls in this bucket where it's okay or this bucket where it's not okay. Mm-hmm. Not okay is suspension or player's choice of sitting out or whatever. Okay is injury or player's choice of sitting down. Or team's choice of sitting them down. Fine. Then we have nothing to talk about. But I don't know if that's going to be the case because that seems like it would cause a lot of controversy.
We'll see how this first year goes. I think it's going to be very interesting. And especially with a whole bunch of stars getting hurt as it is, there's always, like, from here on out, there's going to be a lot of conversation every single year about who's playing, who's not, what load management looks like, which really, like, it affects, even when we get to, like, All-NBA, load management really only affects about 5 guys, like 5 to 8 guys in the league.
It barely affects them. Like, it's so overblown.
Yeah. Really, they're talking about the fans who came to show up and took,
which is a real thing, and it does. It does
miles for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of changes in the CBA. Let's move on from this one topic because we got a lot to hit. Another one is the midseason tournament is happening as soon as next year. It's for sure happening. How do y'all feel about that? I know Donovan has some opinions.
I wasn't a fan. Well, you go first, man. I want to hear yours.
Yeah, I'm so conflicted as to how this will look and if like players will genuinely care about this at the end of the day. Like, yeah, sure, cool. You're throwing money at these players, and that's a good incentive that they're throwing out there. But like at the end of the day, if we're being real, 20 years from now, are we really gonna be looking at someone like, I don't know, De'Aaron Fox or John Morant's career and be like, nah, he wasn't like that because he don't have any mid-season tournament badges or medals? Like, that's just like,
that's not the point, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I have really mixed feelings about this, and it doesn't really intrigue me.
Okay. What about you, Donovan?
I'm gonna take the easy way out. I'm gonna reserve judgment because I was hesitant on the play-in. I still think that there's a couple things that they can be done to fix to improve the play-in. For the in-season tournament, I don't think that a money incentive is the correct thing to do. I don't know if there's an incentive big enough to make this like matter instantly. Maybe this happens. Yeah. Maybe this happens 15 years down the road where like it has some lore behind it. But the money in the NBA is already big enough to where a majority of the guys, like if you throw a pool of $20 million at 15 players and they all split it, like, okay, so we all get an extra $1 million. Like that doesn't matter to LeBron. He makes that in a day. And
it matters to Austin Reeves.
You
don't think LeBron wants to win that for Austin Reeves?
Listen, these dudes don't care. They don't care about the money that they're throwing at their own charities in the All-Star game.
Bro, nobody cares. You're in the locker room and these guys at the bottom of your roster are making $4 million this year, and they can get $1 million check. Their teammates. They're gonna care about that.
If you think that the LeBron is like, listen, I got to go all out to get Austin Reeves this $1 million win. When they have a legitimate chance to win the finals, and LeBron's like, oh no, like we need me for the finals. Why am I going to go extra hard for this tournament? I could just write Austin Reeves a check for $1 million and it'll save us a whole bunch of time.
Y'all are going back and forth about LeBron and Austin Reeves' career relationship. Y'all are disgusting, man. More so, I feel like this.
I'm reserving judgment. I need to see how it's going to be set up. Okay. I don't know exactly what all the parameters are going to be like. I don't know what the incentives are going to be like. And if the incentives are more team based to where it's like, okay, if you win this, then you get an extra draft pick or something like that. That doesn't necessarily incentivize the guys on the team rather than the front office. So we have to see how all of this plays out.
Go
ahead.
When I'm thinking about this, like, it's not a real like benchmark or milestone for any team other than the teams that are like in the middle of the pack and are just trying to figure things out, like the Sacramento Kings or the Oklahoma City Thunder or hell the Orlando Magic, like as of late, because they've been an actual respectable good team since All-Star break. And so I don't know like if it's really moving the needle for the teams you want it to move the needle for in terms of like interest mid-season, but that's my standpoint. I think
when we talk about it, we're so focused on like, is this gonna be a big deal that people care about? Is this gonna be the best thing ever? And I feel like that's taking the wrong viewpoint because no one's saying it's gonna revolutionize the NBA. Apparently, this is Adam Silver's like love child project. I don't think he thinks this is gonna be like bigger than the finals or as good as the finals. Like, it's not. We're not trying to say that the midseason tournament is gonna be an accomplishment to itself. That's like, I want to win this. But a lot of things have been theorized that they're going to do is there's going to be basically 5 games in the season that were already played. That's going to be the midseason tournament, right? So they're not really going to add games to the calendar. What's the downside if it's just like a cool tournament in the middle to spark interest in the middle of the season to just, give the dead point of the season some life? It's just 5 extra games. The players don't want to care, then they won't win it. It's whatever. It just counts as the other games to their schedule. What's the downside?
It's not cool enough.
If you are creating a tournament. If you're creating a tournament that doesn't have like either history behind it or immediate buy-in from the players, then the one thing that you would want to have in it is to like get people ramped up and to add some juice into it is stakes, right? Like you would want to tune in purely for the stakes, because if at the end of the day we're all still vying for an NBA Finals championship and the midseason tournament is just like a blip in the journey, okay, I want to see like what the stakes are so I can get excited about this, because this doesn't contribute to the overall thing, or like it's just a part of the process. If the stakes aren't there, then why should I care about this any more than just a regular season game?
What's wrong with
what I'm
that?
saying.
Obviously, it's
like
a tournament. You will care more than the regular season game. Let's say it's comparable to let's say it's closer to a random regular season game than it is in the NBA Finals. That's fine. Like you were acting like that has to have some crazy justification to add a change. It could be slightly better than what we have now, and it's like, why not? Right? Like there's no downside to this.
Yeah,
If
it's just another
cool
layer
like, so
of
what?
entertainment overall, and I think they're doing their job. It's not moving the needle. No one's gonna no one should expect it to be monumental or change or rewrite history whatsoever. I think a lot of people, when it comes to like during the midseason or when things get boring, they're focusing on what I want to see Kawhi, LeBron go all out instead of taking it easy or taking a couple of nights off or taking possessions off, when that's like these things just inherently, like, that's the wrong target audience. These things are for the teams who are trying to prove something and make some noise, and I think this is the perfect type of product that they're putting out there to give these teams who will give a fuck, like a team like the Atlanta Hawks. This is something meant for them, you know? These are the mid-season tournament for the mid-teams. Huh?
I think it's for the fans.
Thank you.
It's for the fans, but...
No, it's not for the mid-teams.
It's for the fans.
People say,
for sure.
I don't care about the NBA until Christmas starts. Maybe now they'll say, I don't care about the NBA until the midseason tournament starts. And people are coming into the season after football, have this fun little tournament to watch and get an idea of what these teams are like. They'll see, oh, right now in the middle of the season, the Celtics are the best team in the league. That's kind of like a cool barometer to know as I'm starting to watch the year and get into it. It's, like you said, purely for entertainment, and that's fine. Like, it doesn't have to be anything else.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to see the stakes. I need to see the setup. Again, I'm reserving judgment. I'm a little bit skeptical because I don't think that the stakes are I don't think that the stakes are inherently there, so I don't see like the overwhelming positive to it. But we will see. We'll see what Adam wants to do. We'll see what.
I don't think they need to be there. I don't think there's nothing logistically that he can do to make the stakes huge. And if he tried to do that, then he would fuck up the. I just rather wait till towards the end of the season, me personally. But I do like this because I think, like, again, I think that this will cater towards an entire new audience in the NBA who deserve spotlight, which are more so the underrated teams who are looking to make some type of noise and improve themselves and whatnot.
Okay. Let's move on to some more stuff in the CBA. All NBA is positionless now. Not much to talk about there, but I think we're all very happy about that. It's great. No more Joel Embiid getting fucked over and being second team because there happens to be another center. So I'm sure we're all happy about that.
Beautiful.
Okay.
The one and done rule is staying around. R.I.P. DeAndre Jordan's career.
Yeah, R.I.P. to his fucking legacy.
Yeah, no more hymns, thank God. But yeah, the one and done rule is staying around, so they're not going to do the players can come straight out of high school. At least for the next 7 years, you got to have 1 year out of high school.
Okay. I think from an NBA management perspective, I kind of like it. From a just like let people get their bag perspective, I don't like it. I think that it's wrong. And you should be able to, be 18 and be able to play professional basketball and make some money off of it. But for the NBA, you're investing a lot of money. You're investing a lot of draft picks. I think this is a way to get just another data point for front offices to look at players and evaluate the people that they're going to
but even then
divest these
I feel
resources
like
to.
Not even a lot of NBA, not even a lot of college or high school players would be considered to be like high draft picks. So I believe it'll only be like maybe 2-3 players, like max 4 players at a time each and every season exactly. It'll be so rare. It's insanely rare to see high school players drafted,
Let's talk about this. Last 10 years, which players would have came straight out of high school? First thing that comes to mind, Ben Simmons would have. He was that guy.
Ben Simmons, you could say Zion
wouldn't have. No, Zion wouldn't have. Zion wasn't like that premier.
Zion would have. You're crazy as hell. He would have.
Bro, do you not remember this? Zion was not the clear-cut number 1 guy in his class. When he came to Duke, he blew up and was like, oh, this is the guy. But Zion wasn't viewed that way. So maybe you're saying he could have been good enough, sure. But he didn't have the cachet to be able to do that, right? He wouldn't have gone
towards the top of. He was towards the top of the job, but
I disagree. I disagree.
He was number 3 in his class.
I think Zion still would have been
he would have definitely been a first rounder.
But the thing is, he wouldn't have tried because only people that are going to do it are people that are clear cut number one in their class. Like they're going into the first year knowing they're going to be number one pick. Like Victor Wembanyama, he would have done it.
No.
Maybe Chet Holmgren.
No.
Probably not.
No.
But like Zion wasn't the clear cut guy. Ben Simmons was.
Although Zion wasn't the
Victor
clear cut
is-
guy, he was the
See,
clear
Anthony-
cut. This dude is different type of guy. You can say Bobo and whatnot, and he was surrounded by.
No, he wasn't, bro. Y'all, no, he was not.
He was RJ at the start of the season. RJ was the guy
That is true.
for Duke, and then after like 3 games, everyone was like, "Yeah, RJ,
bro.
you really shouldn't be the lead of this team."
Sophomore year, Zion blew up with these dunks against these little teams that were like, "Oh, this is cute. This guy can dunk real good. He's big. I don't know if he's good yet." Junior year, we're like, "Oh, he's actually pretty good." Senior year, he's like, "Oh, he's a top 5 player in his class," but he was never like the guy in his class at all in high school. Like
Yeah.
it's a testament to him. His rise up the ranks throughout his career was pretty great.
Yeah,
But-
shout out to him.
But who else was there that would have came out of high school? Anthony Davis would have.
Yes,
Anthony Davis would have.
yes,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Maybe Cade Cunningham. Probably Cade Cunningham would have.
I'm blanking on. I don't. In terms of like these guys, like high school ranks, I forget a lot of.
Cade
where
was
these
on that
guys are.
Montverde team that had Scotty Barnes and Moses Moody, and he was like clear cut number 1. He went to
Yeah.
Oklahoma State and took an unserious college year. Like he probably would have just ducked that year and went to the NBA. Like-
To be honest, I don't think he would duck that year because he had family ties with Oklahoma State and whatnot. But
Okay.
regardless of the fact, like the list is very short,
Yeah,
and like it doesn't. Like I think the NBA just adding on. I feel like they completely missed the mark on this because now like you kind of handicap yourself from another potential storyline that could have been talked about and just a whole new layer of like conversation that would have been surrounded around this entire thing. And what would be the hurt? What would be the pain? Oh, a team drafts a player who's not ready whatsoever. Okay, that's the team's fault. You know, there's a reason why like a majority of people will still go to college and G League and all these other options. You know, so that's just a
sometimes you
mismark,
swing and you
in my
miss.
opinion.
Oh well, not our
Yep,
problem.
That's true.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
literally
you're right.
gambling. And speaking of gambling, oh my goodness.
Yeah, let's fire
What
through these because
is
there's a
going
lot of
on?
small stuff that people aren't that interested in, but that's one of them. So yeah, players can now have sponsorships from things like FanDuel, DraftKings, all these gambling sites, which is like you're alluding to a little bit weird because you're not allowed to bet on yourself if you're a player. Obviously, that's a very big no-no. So to be affiliated with a gambling thing is kind of strange.
That is not a good look at all. It is.
Yes,
it is
it's
not. It
suspect.
is not a good look. The NBA is already facing every major sports league who is now like throwing themselves into this gambling world. It is very, very weird to be able to have the gambling and then also duck the allegations that that your game is still pure and that nothing is being touched, especially for the NBA who has had gambling and rigging scandals in the past in the finals at the highest level.
Yeah,
And this is not a good idea for them.
and also on the same lines, NBA players can now invest in NBA teams and WNBA teams. They can be part owners, which I know sounds fucking nuts on top. Like, is LeBron going to be a part owner in the Hornets? Why is he going to try to win against the Hornets? But that's not exactly how it works. They can only invest in these teams if they invest in private equity firms that are buying portions of teams, and those private equity firms have to buy portions of multiple teams. So that's why it makes sense.
Okay.
And basically, it's just so players can have some ownership and stake in the NBA rising in valuation. Like we're seeing the Washington Commanders are about to sell, and the valuation is like $6 billion. So NBA players are like, oh, when these NBA teams are about to sell, these valuations are going to be ridiculous. Let me invest in that so I can get a piece of the pie that I'm helping grow. Are y'all cool with this?
Yeah, for the most part right now.
I mean, it
Well,
sounds familiar.
We will see.
I don't know.
We will see.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar to what like a lot of regular employees have a part of their job. Like for example, if you work at Publix, then you get to have a certain, you get to hold a share within the same company. But at the same time, it's kind of weird because like the NBA is huge and there's like a lot of mini companies under this big ass umbrella company. So I get it and I understand it, and I think it is like progressive. But I mean, I remember like a couple. Maybe last year, I heard Andre Iguodala in an interview talk about how he had I think he worked some deal with Joe Lacob or something like that when it comes to having some not part ownership of the Warriors, but like having a tiny piece of the cake once he's like gone and done off of the team. And it was like
Really?
an under the table. Yeah, it was some type of under the table handshake on his like Point Forward podcast.
He talked about that?
That seems like it circumvents the CBA very heavily.
Yeah, it seems like he should not be admitting to that. It's crazy.
Very weird.
But all right.
Okay.
Last thing in the CBA change I want to talk about real quick. They basically saw that the Clippers, Warriors, and Nets over the last few years have been spending way more than every other team in the league. And some owners have complained about that, the poor teams, about how it's a disadvantage that the Warriors have the right to spend $300 million on payroll because they can pay all the tax in the world because they're rich. And now the NBA is hurting those teams for it. Basically, they're adding in a second luxury tax threshold. So if you spend $17.5 million more than the salary cap, you can't use your mid-level exception. And you can't bring in more money in trades than you send out.
Yeah, that's whack. That's whack. Stop pocket watching. Get your money up, broke boys. Like that's what I thought the game was. This is a club of 30 billionaires, and we're trying to protect their pockets. Stop being cheap. Stop being broke. Let's go out and spend your money, right? And let's actually try and win some stuff. It's ridiculous. This is whack. I truly hate this.
Yeah, because like imagine the Oklahoma City Thunder, and you draft all these young up and coming. Potentially, you draft 4 stars. You get to the point where you pay 3, the fourth one, like Jalen Williams, might have to let walk because if they sign him, they'll go over this and they won't have access to middle level exception and all these other. There's several other small things that this team can't do that it really puts a handcuff on you team building wise. Why are we doing this to teams? Why are we not letting them take care of their homegrown talent and build the right way? If they're willing to spend the money, let them spend the money.
Exactly. This is exactly what happened a decade ago. This is why the Thunder traded James Harden away in the first place. We literally saw this with 3 MVPs. Imagine the dynasty that the Thunder could have had. And they did everything right. They drafted all those guys. They kept them in house. They built everything up. And now because people are complaining that other people have deeper pockets than them, now we all have to play fair. This is professional sports at the highest level. Please, and I'm so serious. Get your money up or go. Stop crying. You are billionaires, bro. Like this, it's ridiculous. It's a shame.
Yeah, man. This is otherworldly
Bozos.
broke boy talk and nasty hater talk as well.
Damn,
like go ahead and play this flight reacts to broke boy because God, man, this is so embarrassing for teams to actually consistently complain about this. Who cares? Be more enticing. Grow your market. It doesn't matter. Like and also, overall just gonna hurt the product in the back end.
And also, like it's not even like these teams that are doing this are it's working. Like the Nets fell apart. It didn't work. The Clippers have been constantly injured. It didn't work. Like it's not a guarantee that it works out. Like the Warriors won last year. Now they're not good this year, and their payroll is even higher. Like it's not like being able to spend this much automatically makes you like a better contender. Like the Bucks are way better than them, and they don't spend that high in the luxury tax.
Yeah, man. I just hate annoying teams.
It's attacking a non-existent
What team do you think
issue.
said this real quick? What team or organization do you think is the number one broke boy?
Oh, the Pacers. The Pacers.
No, not even. I think the Hornets.
No, it's the Rockets. The Rockets, their owner's broke as fuck, and he's always doing shit for that. Because it's the Rockets.
Yeah.
Low-key, the Lakers, probably. The Lakers are run by a mom and pop show. The Lakers have owners that are not billionaires because the only thing that makes them rich is the Lakers. That's their job is running the Lakers. Most other owners, it's a side gig. Jeannie Buss, all she has is the Lakers, so they can't spend like that.
Yeah, the Rockets owner Fertitta, he's just coming back up. A lot of his money was tied in casinos and gambling and stuff, and so when the pandemic hit, a lot of his money was tied up, and so he couldn't really get anything. But now that everything's back open again, back outside, people spending that money, he's back up.
Yeah, man. CBA has a lot of changes. There's a lot of other smaller stuff that we don't got to talk about because our fans don't want to hear about it. Like you can offer your players extensions that are 140% of their salary now instead of 120%, stuff like that.
Yeah,
we don't got to get too deep into it, but a lot of small changes in this that add up and some very interesting stuff like we talked about.
Yeah.
So
this, I'm still upset that they're pocket watching like this. This is ridiculous. But
before we get to TikTok time, one thing I want to ask you guys, in the spirit of the CBA changes, if you were running the NBA for a day, what's the one change you'd want to make?
All right, I'm calling ISO on here. I'm getting my stuff off. I think about this all the time. The number one thing that I'm doing if I'm commissioning the NBA, we're changing the schedule and we're changing the standings. I think that the NBA needs to go back to the system in which division winners get home court advantage.
Ew.
I think that matters. I think in a league in which there's a lot of player movement and you don't necessarily get like the rivalries that you get every single year, manufacturing rivalries in a regional sense is very, very important. And so you would change the system to where you still play like 2 times with the people from the opposite conference. You don't have to play everybody in your conference 4 times a year. You would play them either 2 or 3, and then you would play everybody in your division 5 times a year.
Oh.
And so then those divisional those divisional games become more important than every other game in the season. You have to get there, and then you have like the extra wild card to get home court advantage. But I think if like the Celtics and the 76ers, every one of their games, they have 4 games this year. What's the difference between those games and the Celtics Bucks, right? But they're in the same division. Right now, it's either we abolish divisions or we go back to it and try to create this rivalry there.
Okay. I see the vision. I think it's the reason we don't do divisions anymore, and it's probably better that way. But I like the idea of having more games. I like the idea of having more games in your division. That'd be cool.
I think that's hard to sell. I am 110% a fan of that, Donovan. And
Adam Silver, hit me up.
Adam Silver, hit you up.
What about you, Mo? What's your one change?
Build.
One thing that I would change in the NBA, I think I can't. Man, I don't really know if I have one pinpoint thing that I would change in the NBA that really bothers me and grinds my gears. You said what?
I said change the jerseys.
Change the jerseys. Nah, jerseys are straight. I like the product as is, to be honest with you, and I don't really think there's anything. Oh, actually, it's the fucking the one and done rule. I hate that. It grinds my gears. Like, I hate that they didn't change that. We already harped on it or whatever, but it's just killing me that like there's this 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid who could be changing his entire family's life, but because of this dumbass rule, like, you know what I'm saying, they want to put him through school and he's gonna make 40,000, 50,000, 100,000 the illegal way for sure.
What's legal now?
Like, yeah, true. I forgot about that, but still, it's not touching like what he should be earning in terms of like all the NBA type level endorsements that he'd be getting with these shoe companies and all this other shit.
Fair enough.
That's the number one thing that grinds my gears, and it has forever pissed me off.
I think one thing I would do, so if they're at the midseason tournament, one thing I'd want to change, which isn't even a change because it hasn't happened yet, but I don't want to make the winning team get a lottery pick. It can either be the 15th pick, basically adding duplicating the 14th pick, the worst lottery odds, and giving that to the team. Or if you want to get spicy, make it like the 10th best odds. I think that'd be sick. And give basically the lottery right now, all pro sports to an extent, it's on purpose, reward you for being bad. That's how you get better, by being bad first. I would love a way for teams to be good and still get that draft compensation and still be able to win by doing it the right way. Like if the Kings could get the 12th overall pick in the lottery by winning the midseason tournament and continue to be good while building at the same time, I think that'd be pretty sick.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
That's crazy.
Like we don't get
that's spicy though. I can get with it. I can get with it.
Yeah, like we used to get shit back in the day before the lottery where like stars would go to good teams already. Like how we get like Magic and Kareem and stuff like that, which we're never gonna do that again because that's crazy. But to have some way to incentivize, like I want the Celtics to be able to get lucky and somehow land the 5th overall pick because they get crazy lottery odds, and just like have cool stuff like that happen that rewards them for being good. Even if it's a small percentage, I think that should be at least some percentage. That was a jarring cut because we just had some technical difficulties, but we're back. And it was at the perfect time because I think it's time for everybody's favorite segment, TikTok time.
Let's get into it. Let's go.
Let's go, man. And as always, we're going to start with the draft like we always do. This time, we're going to draft players that have beards. So this will be fun.
Very specific version, though. So, like, we can call out the, like, specific year, right?
Yeah. So, if, like, I don't know who example is. I use a make-believe example. Shaq never had a beard. But if Shaq had a beard in 2009 only, you could say 2009 Shaq.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Cool. Who's the first pick?
Who had it last time? What was the last pick?
I have third. You had it. Oh, you had third?
I have third.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, so Mo, you're first now. You pick Steph in the middle of the point guard draft. So it's Mo, Donovan, me.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Cool.
All right.
So-
I go first.
Yeah, well, I gotta do the
Go
hook
ahead,
first.
Doug.
Let's draft NBA lineups with only players who had beards. Let's
Perfect. One hit shot out. Give me Braun.
go.
Easy.
Okay, well, obvious first pick.
All right, that's cool. Give me 2017 Steph Curry.
Okay.
Nice.
Did he have a beard in 2017? I thought it was more recent.
Yeah, 2017 is when he started growing it.
Okay. Oh, and now I'm in a hard position. First pick, give me Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, obviously.
Yeah.
Nice.
Here, I guess I'll pick Prime Harden. Feels a bit high, but I mean, he's the beard.
He's the beard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
Prime
makes sense,
Harden
makes
is
sense.
nice.
Okay, at 2. What do I want to go with this? Give me a wing. Give me 2019 Kawhi Leonard.
His beard is real small. I'll let you have it, but like that shit is
I think that
low.
should count.
You
That
can
should
have
count.
it.
Listen, he has the beard. It's low. It's a
Yeah,
low
it's low,
beard.
but it connects. It connects.
So wait, who was your first pick, Donovan? Curry. Then you got Kawhi.
Yeah,
You
I
starting
got
off real
Stephen Kawhi.
strong.
Also, nobody asked for clarification for if a beard counts. Just say it, and then we'll roast him if it doesn't count.
Okay. All right. So cool. Y'all came with heavy hitters. So I got to try to do the same thing. Go ahead. Let's throw this back. Go ahead and give me Kyrie.
Okay.
You should
Go
throw
ahead
this
and give me
back if it was an
Kyrie.
old player.
No, like give me throw this. Well, pause, but throw this
Whoa.
back. 2016 vibes. Give me that version of Kyrie. This
Okay.
team
Oh,
is
you got
nasty.
Braun and Kyrie together. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then on top of that, give me the big three that should have been. Well, technically would have been because Kyrie wouldn't have been there, but I'm gonna say it should have been Paul George.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's interesting.
All right. I got to get a. Let's see. So I have Steph and Kawhi. Give me Anthony Davis.
That's a good pick. I was gonna pick him next.
That's
if you didn't
nice.
pick him.
Give me AD.
That's nice.
Damn. Oof. Like I said, I already got my pick and roll combination. Now I gotta flank them on the wings. Give me Dirk Nowitzki and Jason Tatum.
That's good. That's
Tatum,
good.
Okay.
I got spacing around the best pick and roll you could imagine.
Damn, I wanted Dirk so bad.
I bet you did.
All right. I gotta figure out who I want as my center. I feel like I need somebody who can space a little bit. I'm looking at my notes here.
There's one really good one waiting for you.
I know. You know what? Give me Joel Embiid.
Okay, I was gonna say if you pass him up, you're an idiot.
I'll take Joel
Damn,
Embiid.
bruh. All right, so it's kind of tough. So I got Kyrie, Paul George, and LeBron.
It's a lot of perimeter talent.
That's a lot of perimeter talent. I could slide LeBron to the 4 if I really wanted to, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that whatsoever. Right? You know what? Let's get kind of funky with it. I'm gonna put LeBron at my 4. I'm gonna put PG at the 3, and give me Jaylen Brown at my 2.
That's a good pick. I was thinking about picking him in my last one.
Okay. That's
Perfect.
good. That's
and
good.
then to round it out, I need a shooter at the 5, and bro, give me Cat. Give me Big Purr.
And you folded the draft.
Folded. What? This
Dude,
fit is
that's-
seamless. You're insane.
You have Cat.
You're gonna
on
have
your team.
Cat guarding Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You just lost.
You're gonna have
Listen,
Cat
man.
guarding Joel Embiid. Yeah, you just lost. All right. I need a 2. I just want somebody who can get up and down. Give me Dwayne Wade.
I don't know if Dwayne Wade counts. Dwayne Wade locates
he
a chin
didn't-
strap.
2011.
No.
Give me 2011 Dwayne Wade.
I feel like Dwayne Wade's beard only counted when he was old, when he was trash.
That's why I said 2011 Dwayne Wade.
Let me type this in.
I
2011 D
I just
Wade.
looked it up for clarification.
Okay, I'm typing this in. Go in the images.
2011 D Wade is
Okay,
what you
okay.
want.
It connects.
Okay.
That is a beard
Yeah,
that connects.
That's a beard. You can have that.
It connects. That's his big thing. It has to connect.
Yep.
That's the qualifying. That's the qualifier. Oh my
Okay.
god, bro.
You can have
2011 Dwayne Wade.
No one likes that pick.
It's barely a beard, but it's a beard, so you can have it.
What kind of this?
My turn now? Last pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, last pick. Round it off.
Last pick, I'm picking the perfect connector to bring it all together. Give me Klay Thompson.
That's nice. That's good.
That's nice. I like that actually. Your team is nice. All right, name them off.
I should have went with the Splash Brothers, but I'm cool with Dwayne Wade.
I really wish I would have went with. I wish I would have went with Klay over JB, but
honestly, I
like
pick whichever one of those was there.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I got Kyrie, JB, PG-13, LeBron, and Karl Anthony Towns. This team is so fucking hard to stop on the offensive end.
You're the worst team, though. I mean, you're LeBron's hard to stop.
Hell.
Picking Cat was crazy. You should have picked Bill Walton.
Yeah, it's very weird. All right, I'm
not picking Bill, bro.
I got Steph Curry, Dwayne Wade, Kawhi Leonard, Anthony Davis, and Joel Embiid.
That's a fucking filthy team. Goddamn.
Oh yeah, your team kind of crushes mine.
Like that.
I have James Harden, Klay Thompson, Jason Tatum, Dirk, Kareem.
That Harden Kareem pick is crazy.
Yeah, I think Donovan may win this one.
It's close.
We'll see. And now it's time to talk about Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports online, specifically with the Pick'em feature. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single night of hoops if you get 5 correct entries. But if you're not feeling that risky, you could do what I did and just hit a simple 2-man entry. I hit higher on Miles Turner and DeMar DeRozan's over on Monday's games, and I got a little bit of money, and that could be you too. And the best part is that you sign up today using promo code TD3. Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100, and that's even more free money to play around with and win on these entries. So again, sign up today using promo code TD3 and get in on the action today.
So next thing we're going to do some NBA trivia.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you guys trivia questions and test your NBA knowledge a little bit. So this will be funny.
Do I know ball? Let's see.
Yeah, do you know ball? So let's see how well you know NBA trivia. I said NBA weird. Let's see how well you know NBA trivia.
How well do you know NBA trivia?
For those who are listening, Donovan's making fun of my hand motions I always use. Comments love talking about it. It's funny. All right. First off, who is the Celtics' all-time leading scorer?
It has to be. Is it Bird?
Yeah.
It has to be Larry Bird.
Actually,
no.
Incorrect. It is not Larry Bird.
Yeah, it's not Larry. It's not.
Who is it?
We'll keep guessing.
It's not the 3-time MVP? Damn.
No, because he got his career got cut short. It's probably someone like.
What pasty boy is this?
Nah. You think it's like it's John Havlicek?
It is John Havlicek.
Yeah.
It's a pasty boy. You're right.
There we go.
You threw the lob. John Havlicek has 26,000 career points.
Okay.
How much does Larry Bird have?
Who's second on the list?
Has to be Larry.
Don't ask me. I didn't do that much research.
So I got number one in there.
For the talks, that's it.
What year did the Spurs win their most games ever?
2017.
Incorrect.
Yeah, I want to. Ooh.
Close.
Okay. Is it 2014?
Incorrect. That's less close.
Damn.
Talk. I'm just thinking. It's a TikTok.
It has to be 2015.
No, 2016.
Y'all are going to guess every answer but the right one. There you go. 2016.
Yeah. Goddamn. I got my years confused.
How many games did they win?
In 2016, they won 67 games. They were incredible, but they were overshadowed by the 73-win Warriors.
That's the one that I was thinking about.
I was thinking about the old Zaza thing. That's when it happened, I believe.
That's tough. That's tough.
There are 3 point guards with multiple MVPs. Who are they?
Magic Johnson, Steph Curry.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Steve Nash.
Yep. Okay, that was an easy one.
I was about to say, do you count James Harden too or nah?
Nah.
He does have multiple though.
Oh, just one. I forget. Yeah.
It's just crazy to think about.
Bro boy.
Yeah. Damn.
How many teams did Shaq play for?
Rough estimate, like 9.
Okay, so he went.
No.
So it's Orlando, Los Angeles,
LA,
Miami, Phoenix, Cleveland, Boston. 6.
Did you say Phoenix?
Yes.
Yeah, you said
Correct.
Phoenix.
It is 6 teams.
Nice. Donovan, you're caring right now. I'm exposed.
What's the record for the least amount of wins in a regular season?
Oh, it's
The
some
Charlotte
Bobcats.
Bobcats.
Let
7.
me rephrase that. What's the record for the least amount of wins in a regular season besides a lockout year? Full 82 games.
I think
Full
it's-
82. Could it be the process Sixers?
Could it be?
Yeah. We're good. Let's go with them.
The process
You know what?
Sixers.
I'm going to give you that because you're close and you're never going to get the right answer.
Is it the New Jersey Nets that did it?
The process Sixers are second. They won 10 in 2016. The first one was the 76ers in 1973. They won 9 games.
God,
9
please.
games?
9 games.
In 82?
In 1973.
No, in 82 games?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they won 9.
You bums.
Man,
I do
those
call them
fans are
bums.
war
They won
veterans,
10 in
bro.
2016.
10 games is still outrageous to me, man.
Yeah, the
But,
modern NBA,
hey,
that 10 stings.
yeah, winning 10 games, not to even sniff a Eastern Conference Finals is crazy.
Next, last one. How many points did Lonzo Ball score in the first game of his career? The iconic game where Patrick
2
Beverly
points.
guarded him.
Yeah, like
Wrong.
4.
Wrong.
6.
Wrong.
It had to
3.
5.
It is 3 points.
3.
Yeah, there we go. 3.
I knew
Damn.
it was single digits.
Patrick Beverly put the fear of God in that young man's eyes and held him to
Yeah,
3
he
points.
put up 3 in his first game, and I think either the next time that he played Patrick Beverly or his very next game he put up like 27 or something like that.
Yeah, 28 in the second game.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Lakers fans were feeling a roller coaster of emotions that first year.
God, man, that's nuts. Such a huge disparity.
All right, that's the trivia segment. I don't know if I posted it. I didn't like it very much. All right. Next up, we're going to play a game of 20 questions, but we're going to change it up. Normally we do 20 questions to guess a player. This time we're going to have 20 questions to guess a single NBA team, like the season.
Oh, that's interesting.
A team okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
let's try to do this without asking if they won a championship, because I think that narrows it down.
Okay. You have 20 questions to guess the NBA team I'm thinking of. Specific year.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
Did this team have a winning record?
Yes.
Did this team have a 6 Man of the Year candidate?
I don't think so. That's so specific.
Okay. You don't think so?
All right, look, okay. Did this team make the finals?
No.
No, they didn't make the finals. Okay.
Okay,
Did this team make any massive moves that specific season?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure the move was in season.
In season, that's what I meant. Perfect.
Is this the
Okay,
2011
so-
Knicks?
This is not the 2011 Knicks. Not a
I
bad
feel like
guess.
you
though.
being targeted. Not a bad pick.
Okay. Do you really want to cut it down? Do you want to ask the conference question? Do you want to cheat?
No. Let's not
Okay.
ask the conference question. All right.
Okay. Did this team make the playoffs?
Yes.
Okay, they made the playoffs. Cool. Did this team have any All NBA players?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Players. Okay, cool. So you peep that, Donovan?
Yeah.
That's not how that works.
Okay.
That does not imply plurality.
I know.
Okay,
I
I'll
know.
go ahead and I'll knock it out. Were there multiple All NBA players on this team?
No, I think just one.
Yeah.
Okay.
God damn, you just wasted a fucking question, Donovan. What?
I had to be specific. Your question wasn't good enough.
You
Lock in.
We
Lock
already
in.
understood. All right.
We're here. We're
Okay.
here. Look at me. We're here.
Okay. All right. Let's wrap this shit up.
How many questions are we at, by the way?
8.
Gotcha.
8. Okay, cool.
Gotcha. All right. They have an All NBA player, winning record. They made the playoffs. Let's try to cut it down. Did they make the conference finals?
No.
Okay,
they
so
didn't
they
make
are
the
a
conference
failure.
finals. Their failure, they made seismic moves. Okay. Did this team use up all of their draft capital?
That's a weird question.
I don't know. What do you mean?
Weird question.
If they're gonna go ahead and make these monumental trades, then I need to know like some context, some background, so I don't have to go through these easy.
Ask me.
questions.
Are you saying about the trade specifically?
Yeah.
Okay, reword that and ask me about that trade.
Did this team give up big assets? Did this team give up big assets during this trade?
No, not really. I mean, I wouldn't say that. No, it wasn't crazy.
Okay, is this team is this team from 2010 and forward?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 13
Is
years.
this team from 2015 and forward?
Yes.
Cool. We're a lot warmer, Donovan.
All right, let's start narrowing it down. Is this team in the Western Conference?
They are.
Okay, Western Conference failure.
Perfect.
I'm really feeling like this is like a Los Angeles Clippers situation. I don't know.
Is this the Clippers?
Which year?
Oh, it is.
He said after 2015.
I'm just saying you got to be specific and ask a question. I'm not implying anything.
Yeah. Listen, he said after 2015, so they have to have like made a move after that. Western Conference losing the second round.
When they traded this has to be the 2018 Los Angeles Clippers.
This has to be not them.
No,
incorrect.
I messed up though. We said that we asked if they made the conference finals, and he said no. That means that they could have lost in the first or the second round.
Exactly. So remember when the Clippers were giving the Golden State Warriors fits and Kevin Durant fits?
I just said it wasn't them. I just said it wasn't them.
Low key though, I can't remember if they made the playoffs. Is this the 2017 New Orleans Pelicans?
You mean 2017, 2018? And yes, it is them.
Yes, sir. The ones who traded for DeMarcus Cousins.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Let's
go.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I had them in the back of my mind. You saved us.
There you go.
Carried.
They beat the shit out of Portland and lost to the Warriors.
Yeah, I remember that.
We're here.
God, Damian Lillard was in fucking hell, man.
Man, shout out Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday was him that year.
No, for real. He had Damon in a straight jacket.
All right, next thing we're gonna do.
We're doing these conspiracies.
We're gonna do a tier list. That we've been doing a lot lately. This is gonna be a long episode.
It is.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a tier list with NBA shoes. So that should be fun.
Let's do it.
So let me set up my chair.
I am excited.
Let's put these NBA shoes into a tier list. First off, iconic Grinch Kobe's.
A.
S tier.
S. My bad.
S tier.
Gotta be S. Gotta be S.
You should have slapped the shit out of me
set
when
the
I
bar.
said A. I meant to say S. God.
This is an all-time
these set
shoe.
the bar. Easy S tier. So next
Those are
up,
classics, man.
facts.
You were him if you had these in middle school or high school.
Oh, if you had these in middle school when they first came out, you were an enigma. These were crazy hard to get back then. All right. Next up, the Olympic Sevens.
Yo, shout
Those
out
are
shout out to these. These are an A tier. I really like sevens. Listen, I used to go on Facebook and enter contests to try to get these shoes, bro. I love these shoes. They're not like Grinches, but they are a beautiful
easy
shoe.
A. Bro, when these came out in 2012 with the 2012 Olympics, when I was in the 8th grade, these took math class by storm. If you had these, you were absolutely that guy.
This with the cargo pants on top of a regular big ass polo sign.
Can't tell me nothing.
You were him. You were Mr. Bitches. Yeah.
Yeah, red elite socks, a white and blue polo.
Yeah.
Fitted
What
up.
a time. What a time.
That's funny. Man,
Y'all know about that.
These people are gonna call us old. They were like 6 years old when this happened.
I know.
Y'all know about that good fashion.
All right.
This is real drip.
These black KD4s.
Also iconic.
That was solid B.
Yeah, I'm gonna go B.
Also iconic. I think they're a better playing shoe than like just wearing out. But these are hard
Absolutely.
though. I think the KD4s is low key like These are a top 3 like KD silhouette though.
They aged well. When they came out, it was kind of like iffy, but they aged real well. Wait, never mind. I'm thinking of the Sixers. Never mind. The KD 4 is amazing. Yeah.
No, these did age well. You're absolutely right about that.
The KD 4s aged incredibly.
Yeah, absolutely. But wearing these outside of the court is kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, today, if you wear them, you're an absolute lunatic, and you should probably never decide your own outfit ever again. But back then, you were dripped out.
I did that yesterday.
Oh, man. The authorities are at your doorstep right now.
Jail. Next up, these red Kobe 9s.
I rock with these.
I hated these.
So
I'm going to give it to you straight F tier. I don't care if you rock with
F, you rock with these?
I hate the high top Kobe 9s.
No, say it ain't so.
I hate the high top Kobe 9s.
Let me tell y'all something. I'm about to put you guys up on game. The Kobe 9, what the colorway is
trash.
It's a white colorway, whole bunch of colors on it.
Trash.
Right now, if you go on StockX, it's about $600. I'm letting you know this right now. Let me find some of them replicas. I'm getting about 10 pairs. Okay.
Yes, and once you do
Kobe
that,
9s,
block me.
These are a beautiful silhouette. They're very, very underrated.
They're horrendous.
We should not disrespect them.
We should.
Who is wearing these confidently
the Kobe 7,
on a
fantastic.
basketball court?
The Kobe 7, fantastic. The Kobe 8, fantastic. The Kobe 9, horrendous. I know why they did it. He tore his Achilles, need the ankle support. Don't care. They look horrible. I'm not RoboCop.
These are fire.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not RoboCop. I'm not
fire.
a future aspiring astronaut. I don't need these in my closet at all. These are nothing. They do nothing for me.
I think my life would be worse if I had these in my closet.
These will be good.
We're getting you guys a pair, and I'm gonna change your mind.
Oh no, these will be good if I went mudding with these.
If you gave me these shoes, I'm filing assault charges.
Nah, y'all tripping. You guys are ridiculous. These are nice. Stop hating.
Okay. These purple Dawn issue 1s.
Oh, those are huge L's.
What?
Huge L's.
I love these.
Blocky.
That's like a C.
They don't match.
Very solid shoes.
I love these.
C tier is cool.
I think these are
A. Sick. Oh my god.
Nah.
A.
Nah.
I'll go B realistically, but I like these a lot.
Yeah, you deserve to get bullied for that one. A is absurd. No, stick to that. You said A confidently.
What's wrong with them?
These are not. These are very far from A worthy. The color scheme is but the whole overall build and just the
love
overall
the Dawn issue
texture
ones.
that's the shoes. Nah.
What? I think the Dawn issue 1 is a hard silhouette.
You said A. There's no way that these can be in the same tier as Olympic 7s.
I know. Okay. I would have said B realistically.
That's wrong. That's wrong.
B is understandable.
So everyone
A
C?
is.
Yeah, we'll go C.
I say C. They're not trash.
Okay. I think they deserve B.
But they ain't in the lineup.
These LeBron 17s.
Don't want to talk about trash shoes. These are garbage. These suck.
Bury these below the F tier. Put these
suck.
in the deepest abyss of hell.
It's crazy. What's really crazy is that LeBron saw these and was like, yeah, give me that lifetime deal. Like, these are disgusting.
Bro, these shoes look poisonous. I'm scared to put these on my feet.
They just
I feel like
heavy.
if I wear these,
they
I
look
can probably
like
walk
they make my ankle
outside
hurt.
and seduce a flamingo. Like, those are the type of vibes that I get from this shoe. They do nothing proactive for me in life other than trying to like do some bestiality shit. Like, what does this do for me right now? You don't wear these on the court. You don't wear these when you outside, like just casually. What are these for? Other than
when you wear these outside, you're gonna hear a Komodo dragon do mating calls.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah. This is a 5th grade art project, man. These things are ugly. This is disgusting.
This looks like a cyst.
Yeah, nah.
That's nasty.
Goodness. And the red is that a red lace or red tongue too? God,
Yeah.
This is all bad everywhere.
F minus.
Take these off of my face.
Okay. Next up. That's a terrible shoe. Next up, we're going to talk about some NBA conspiracy theories. Donovan, I think you have some for us.
Yeah.
We're going to name some conspiracy theories and say if they're fact or cap.
Yeah. All right, y'all good?
Yep.
Let's
the hook is, you let me know if the NBA conspiracy theories are fact or cap.
Yeah, I got it. Let me pull them up. All right. Are these NBA conspiracy theories fact or cap? All right.
Okay.
First one, we're going to the OG conspiracy theory. David Stern rigged the 1985 NBA draft with a frozen letter.
Absolute fact.
Big
hard,
facts.
cold, stone cold case fact. Absolutely, bro. Whole thing
Yeah,
was
I believe this more than I believe anything in my life. It all adds up. If you've ever gone down the Reddit spiral and read all these details about how he moved his hand around and felt a cold one, dropped one that wasn't cold, it all adds up to me.
David Stern was going to do whatever he had to do to make sure that Patrick Ewing was a New York Knick. There was no way that the first lottery ever was to get Patrick Ewing to New York. Yeah, he did that. He did that.
Yeah, I know, bro.
They had to set the example early on and show what the lottery could do in a best case scenario. It only makes sense.
He set the trend, and now the NBA been a lot smarter about it since then.
It's an iconic conspiracy. All right, next one. Michael Jordan's flu game was made up.
Made up? We thinking that he had severe, like,
listen,
what do they call it?
Listen.
The Last Dance talked about this, right?
Streets are saying, listen, of course, the Last Dance was created by Michael Jordan. Of course, he's going to lie on camera. Okay. But Streets are saying that he was actually hungover from gambling, and that it wasn't actually a flu game.
Okay, I'm gonna say cap because I thought we've known by now it's food poisoning. It wasn't a flu game, so it's kind of fact because it wasn't flu, but he was sick, right?
He was hungover.
We're going there. We're going with that one. Okay,
this is.
I ain't gonna lie. Being sick and being like food poisoning sick are two different types of things, and I'm leaning towards fact that he was indeed. Or cap, he was indeed hungover.
Okay, so I'll go with y'all. He definitely didn't have the flu, so it's got to be fact.
Somebody's lying. Yeah. Somebody's lying.
Somebody's doing a little embellishing for the legacy there.
Exactly.
Play some shit up.
The Last Dance was straight propaganda.
Oh, my stomach was gonna fall off. My head was gonna burst. I couldn't play, but I made the shots. Fuck out of here.
Exactly. All right, next one. The Morris twins have switched place and played an NBA game as each other.
Ooh,
I want to believe fact because it's hilarious.
But I would say cap.
Probably cap, but I'm gonna say fact just because I hope it happened.
I'm gonna say cap. I refuse to believe that the NBA that like even though that they're twins that they can't tell between like two different people.
Bro, if you've seen Markieff Morris dribble and Marcus Morris dribble, you would see a stark difference. Markieff is stiff as shit.
That's what I'm saying.
It's just cap.
You can tell who stretched when they were young and who didn't. It's pure. Yeah, bro. It's obvious.
It's good. All right. Next one. Otto Porter Jr. is related to Wilt Chamberlain.
I love this one. This one's hilarious. Fuck it. Fact. Why not? Let's roll.
This is fact.
Fact.
Please, right now, all you have to do, side-by-side picture. Look him up. That is his son. Or grandson. That is his blood.
Now do Anthony Edwards and Michael Jordan, and you'll see who Michael Jordan's real son is.
That is his blood.
Yeah, no, this is quite obvious, bro. Guys, let's not make this too complicated. This is fact.
Show me the birth certificate.
All right.
Yeah, I'm dead.
The NBA rigged the draft for the Cleveland Cavaliers after LeBron left.
I mean, they won.
Did they get the number one overall pick back-to-back years?
3 out of 4 years.
That's crazy.
3 out of 4 years.
And they took Kyrie. They took Kyrie, Anthony Bennett, and Andrew Wiggins. The only one that they didn't get was Anthony Davis.
I'm gonna go cap
100%
because I don't believe Adam Silver has the balls to do that. I feel like that was a David Stern era thing.
Exactly.
So, out of pure disrespect, Adam Silver was already commissioner then, right?
No.
Oh no, he wasn't. He came out 2014 or something.
2014, 2015. It was right after that. This is still David Stern's era.
You know what? I'm going fact. This was David Stern's last outing as his commissioner. He went out with a bang and made sure to do his thing. Fact.
This was his last dance. He said, "This motherfucker is coming back to this city whether he likes it or not," and I respect it. R.I.P.
If David Stern was going to do one thing, he was going to rig a draft. That's his thing.
Exactly.
He did
He's all about his bag, and I respect it. I stand on business too.
Flashes the merch.
Nah, facts.
TDC merch coming soon.
All right. The Spurs turned off the AC to make LeBron cramp in the finals.
That's got to be cap.
It's got to be cap. I want to say fact. That's funny, but this is also some embellishing, just like Jordan does, where LeBron was like, "Oh, it was too hot. I was cramping up. I couldn't move." Oh. LeBron's just dramatic as fuck.
Now, I'm going to say fact. I'm going to say LeBron has shown a propensity to cramps. The San Antonio Spurs did their homework, and they turned off the AC. Listen, they're in Texas. They know how to play in the heat. They're okay with it, right? LeBron, it was even though that he had been in Miami, he still wasn't a hot boy like that. They knew his weaknesses. They were getting that championship.
Oh, that's back when he was sweating out 8 pounds after every game.
Yeah.
Facts. He just 1% higher body heat. He's gonna pass out. I gotta see the vision.
Yeah, I know. I see the vision as well. It's already Texas, hot as hell. There's not much spacing on the court, and then as Charles Barkley would say, you're surrounded around a bunch of big women. Yeah, no, this has to be fact.
Oh my god. Cut. That's the last one.
Oh man. Yeah, let's move on before I get in trouble.
Okay. Next
You're
one
not
we're
right.
gonna do is
You're not right.
we were doing some things where we were talking about the best player in franchise's history and the all-time rosters.
Mm-hmm.
This time we're gonna talk about what was the best specific team in a franchise's history by
Okay.
year.
Gotcha.
What was the best single season team in this franchise's history? I gotta say NBA, I always forget. What's the best single season team in this NBA franchise's history? The Lakers.
Ooh,
This one's hard.
Time.
It has to be
Is it Showtime?
1987. It has to be the Showtime Lakers.
We're not gonna go 01 Lakers?
Nah.
No, just the amount of Hall of Famers that you had on that team to have
Stacked.
MVP Magic, to have James Worthy, still have Kareem, go beat the Celtics in the finals. You used to have Byron Scott. Like I think that might be the one.
Yeah, but for this 01, but for the 01 team to have a near perfect playoff run with the best duo ever potentially, I kind of lean 01.
3 Hall of Famers
Nah.
to 2 though.
Yeah, exactly.
One playoff
Three Hall of
loss.
Famers to two.
One playoff loss.
One playoff.
They
loss,
both still
but
have a ring. Like I think
Yeah, one playoff. Yeah, I don't think that moves me enough considering I don't want to say the talent was weak at all back then, but bro, like if you put these two teams head to head, who winning?
Yeah.
No way you
Okay,
picking that.
and I guess you
duo.
could say that the Lakers had a much easier finals matchup. So I guess,
Yeah.
And I guess you could say that the 01 team had a much easier finals matchup. So we can go Showtime.
Yeah, for sure.
good.
The Houston Rockets.
Oh, easy. It has to. It's the
Listen,
first. It's
it
the
has to
first
be-
championship team.
Yeah. Okay,
First
it's
championship
easy to say 94, but 2018 was the best team to
I was
never
gonna
win a
say that.
championship. So
I-
it's
I
94,
would
but it's
say that.
close.
Yeah, definitely. There's no single team in NBA
Chokers.
history who even came close to beating that Warriors team, bro, and they almost
Yeah.
did it. God
Like-
bless that team.
It's got to be 94 because they got it done. But that 28 team is better than a lot of championship teams.
Absolutely.
Like if you pick them now, I wouldn't be mad at you. But
If
I'll
they were
respect
in
the
the
team.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah.
Man, that
absolutely, I
2018 team is crazy. That's one of my favorite teams
You
of
just-
all time.
You just took me back to a whole new memory lane, and I just lost my train of thought.
Just remembering high school.
Yeah, like fucking Jimmy Neutron,
The
brain
ascending.
blast type shit.
The Brooklyn Nets.
I
Are
forget
we
they were
gonna
in
say-
New Jersey for a second.
Are we gonna say that like 16 game stint or 20 game stint when they had Kyrie, James Harden,
Yes,
KD because
yes,
they were
I am.
unbeatable?
I am going to say that. They made the
They were
finals in the
hard.
2000s. Great. But those 8 games where they had Kyrie, LeBron, but those 8 games where they had Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, easily the best stretch of Nets basketball of all time. I don't even care how short it was.
This is so disrespectful. You had
It
teams
is.
that literally
It is,
made
yeah.
the finals, teams that won the finals, and you're like,
I don't care.
These, yeah, give me
That's wrong.
KD, Harden, and Kyrie versus whatever team won the finals for the Nets, and KD, Kyrie, Harden is smoking them. Easy.
that's wrong.
Oh, hold on, I got to restart my camera. It's fine. We're going to keep rolling.
No.
All good.
It's all good. Okay.
Ooh, we
My
hit
camera
the
went out for
2 hour
10
mark.
seconds.
This is impressive.
Yeah. Okay, next one. The Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh,
Okay,
man,
this is
oh,
tough.
Man, oh, man.
I think.
It's either 2012 or
think you have
2016,
to-
right?
Are
It's
we
James
going in-
Harden's
I
team
mean,
or the
in that
2016
franchise-
team that choked to the Warriors.
Are we not
I say
going to the one that
2016.
made the finals?
Oh, my bad. So it's either 2011 or
Oh,
2016, right?
wow.
It's either James Harden's team or the team that almost beat the Warriors in 2016.
I would go with 16 out of
personally-
those. But are we not going back
Yeah,
to the
16.
Sonics that made the finals?
Are you?
Mm,
You tell me.
Me personally, I'm taking 2016 still.
I think I'll lean 2016 as well. I think I I think I'd fear KD and Russ a lot more than Gary Payton and Sean Kemp with respect to how great they were.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean
Team
Kemp
is
got
just
that
too
thing
well
on
built
him,
out, bro.
Oh,
whoa.
yeah, but KD and they were one game away from beating the Warriors. All-time fold job, but like that team was legit.
Man, they really blew 3-1.
Yes, hard.
3-1 and 2, bro. 2016 was so generous. 3-1 and 2 in one playoff run, bro. That's crazy.
They were so close,
and
man.
now we see it all the time. People just be choking.
So we're going 2016.
Yeah.
2016, easy.
Shout out Gary Payton though; those teams are great. The San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, now this is fucking hard.
It has to be 2014. It has to be 2014.
It's not the earlier championships.
No,
With David
2014
Robinson?
was a different level San Antonio Spurs. First off, it's the only Spurs team that has a nickname about it because they were just that good. They won the finals by as big of a margin as anybody has ever won the finals ever. And to still have Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard, everybody still there to go avenge that loss before, yeah, they got it.
Yeah, they dismantled the Heat. Like, it was crazy. Sure, Dwayne Wade was a little washed at that point.
They were not
it doesn't
losing
even
that
matter.
series.
It doesn't matter. They fucking destroyed them.
God.
They were not
Sad
losing
stuff,
that series.
Yeah. Shout out 2002 or whatever the championship year was. No, it wasn't 2002. What year was it?
It was 03.
Yeah. Shout out the 03 team, but 2014 is different. That passing was next level with young Kawhi being the best defender in the NBA. It's got to be them.
It's crazy.
Shout out to Danny Green, man. Hop on the pod.
Why Danny Green? Yeah, man. The 0-1 Lakers are amazing. Shout out Vlade Divac. All right, man. Well, that's the end of the episode, guys. That's all we got.
Damn.
This is the longest episode ever. Long as hell. I'm tired. I got to use the bathroom. If you're still here, comment. Shout out Danny Green.
Shout out Danny Green.
Shout out Danny Green.
Let's go. We're out of here. See ya.